why we love Tim Tebow. He's left-handed.
Number 10.
Well, we know he's left-handed.
Number 10, he's left-handed. Why did this even make the list?
Guys always got a plan.
So he's left-handed. That's the only thing about him that leans to the left, right?
I don't know about that.
I think a big part of Tebow's popularity is he's different, and left-handers are different.
Tebow being a lefty, really enjoy that. That's one of my favorite parts of Tim Tebow.
Is that something to love, or it's just a fact? He's left-handed.
You have to put left-handed on the list because without that left hand, I mean, half of Tebow's airtime suddenly disappears.
If lefty is great, why isn't Tyler Palko having the things we love about Palko list?
But Palko makes a brutal mistake.
Didn't they say that left-handedness was once the sign of the devil?
True, the Bible has many references to the left hand being evil, but here's a less sinister take.
My line on Tebow is, everyone knows that Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. And do you think it's any coincidence that the Father made Tebow left-handed?
No, let's not push it. I'm willing to go a certain distance, but I'm not going that he's at the left hand of God. Not this week.
You pull that left hand out, it just changes everything. People look at you different. You know, it throws people off. People think, you know, they get confused.
What is going on? What is going on?
To a right-handed lineman, a left-handed quarterback is completely bass-backwards.
I mean, only to our right. No. To his left, his left-handed. To our right. Bigs are in the right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's an ugly ball already, and then it's spinning left. That just kind of exacerbates the problem.
He's left-handed. That's why he doesn't always throw it to the right team.
Tebow overthrew him, and Justin Rogers for the interception.
I think Tebow might be right-handed, and he just doesn't know it, just based on the way he throws the football.
It's that long windup that people said would get him in trouble.
Yeah, that Tim Tebow, I mean, I think he probably taught himself to be left-handed, right? He was going to be right-handed one day, and he said, no. He decided it was too easy for him. He was going to throw left-handed then.
The number 9 reason why we love Tim Tebow. The big drama in the Big Apple.
I think this is deliciously Jets.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
I mean, this entire situation, only the Jets could concoct. The Jets like crazy things.
No team brings on as much attention as they do.
They like things that are going to be fun and interesting. They're not scared of them.
Welcome to New York, Tim Tebow. You got to realize this. It's a new animal. It's a different breed of animal. New York City is a different breed of animal. You have never seen this animal in your life, Tim Tebow.
I'm so excited about being a Jet. Thank you all for coming.
Tim Tebow in New York, it will be as close to the edge of madness as one can imagine.
Now you got the quarterback controversy. Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow. Who do you go with?
Well, I think we've seen the ceiling of Mark Sanchez. I think what we've seen from him is what he is.
Rex Ryan saw Tim Tebow beat him.
Are you kidding? Tim Tebow, Denver touchdown. Go ahead and explain this one.
Tony Sperano in Miami adopted the Wildcat.
The triple option comes to the NFL. Whatever it takes.
The way Rex Ryan wants to win games.
Here we go, ground and pound. Got it, ground and pound.
Pound the rock, play defense. It almost seems to me this team might be better with Tebow at quarterback.
With two big-name quarterbacks in the nation's #1 media market, the Sanchez-Tebow debate isn't going away anytime soon. New Yorkers won't let it.
Well, I was walking the streets the other day. One of the steakhouses named one of their T-bone steaks after him. And I'm like, Sanchez doesn't have a steak named after him in New York.
Mr. President, you think Tebow's going to get it done in New York?
Tim Tebow seems to be a wonderful young man. He really steps up when things count. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of tension in that situation. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays itself out.
I was at a game where they booed Derek Jeter. The New York fans booed Derek Jeter. So yeah, I think they're totally going to be supportive of Tebow if he throws a few interceptions.
I think Tebow was trying to throw that ball away.
In the end, how will this Broadway drama unfold?
We're going to see Sanchez struggle. The fans are going to call for Tebow. He's going to have some Tebow time magic. I can see Tebow taking over for this guy.
He's going to bring people together
to hate Tim Tebow and Mark Sanchez. Nobody's going to know who to hate more, I feel.
Only the Jets could create this. Only the Jets could create this.
When the smoke clears, right, you're going to wish you could take a sample of both these guys' DNA, make one quarterback. Tim Sanchez. Tim Sanchez. Tim Sanchez. All one word. You know what I mean?
The number 8 reason why we love Tim Tebow. The read option.
Tim Tebow does what Tim Tebow does.
Tebow throws. Tebow can run. Tim Tebow, touchdown.
There is a method to his madness.
Tebow's tricks came courtesy of an offense known as the read option.
Read option offense is about simple math. Ordinarily in the NFL running game, it's 10 on an 11.
Most quarterbacks you don't have to account for in the running game. Well, with Tim back there, obviously you do.
I'll tell you who does not love the read option offense is anybody associated with football today whose job depends on success.
Over the years, several NFL teams have flirted with various forms of the option.
Run to the right. Oh, yes! Into the end zone. Touchdown, Dolphins.
But since the advent of the T formation, Tim Tebow is the first quarterback who's run the option as his bread and butter play and succeeded. The 2011 Broncos reached the playoffs for the first time since 2005.
During that 6-game winning streak, it was awesome to watch.
Tebow's going to fight himself into the end zone. Denver touchdown.
Somehow it works.
Tebow looks and throws, pass to a wide open Demaryius Thomas. And touchdown, Denver.
It's like one of those Chinese finger trap things, right? You put your fingers in it and you're like, how come I can't get my fingers out? That's Tim Tebow. Like, how does this thing work?
It's tough to get the players to understand both things, being able to stop him as a runner and then also defending against his ability to complete some passes.
Tim throws to Decker in the end zone, and Decker's got a Denver touchdown.
There are those that love the read option offense.
For a long time, in the NFL, there was this idea that you never, ever wanted your quarterback to get hit. And now, these quarterbacks like Tebow, they're so big and so strong, they're your most powerful runners you got.
Tebow keeps it. He's in trouble. He breaks the tackle. Tebow's inside the 5. Tebow's to the goal line. Touchdown.
Because of what he does and how he helps the running game, he makes the offense work. You know, they stay on schedule. There's no 3rd and 31s, 3rd and 17s, and that way they can stay in games.
I'll be honest, you get tired of tackling him. I mean, that's a big man.
Yeah, come on. It's hurting more than I am.
In Tim Tebow's version of the read option, he has two choices. He can either run with the ball.
Tebow's inside the 5. Tebow's to the goal line, and Denver with the touchdown.
Or throw an interception.
Tim sets, throws, pass is going to be intercepted.
And then run after the ball.
Houston being chased by Tebow. Tebow will not get him.
Even with Tebow's success, others aren't sold on the read option.
The NFL is no place to be running your quarterback, who's so important, past the line of scrimmage more than a couple of times a game. He's going to get killed.
I think it's something you could throw in every now and again to keep the defenses off guard.
Tebow's at the 5. Tebow's got a Denver touchdown.
It's not something you can do consistently because defensive coordinators and head coaches are sophisticated and smart enough to figure things out, as we saw in the playoffs last year.
We will no longer see this hokey smoke and mirror option offense in this league.
They say long-term it won't work in the NFL. All I know is it has worked till this point, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Tebow's going to find himself into the end zone, and Tebow has a touchdown.
The number 7 reason why we love Tim Tebow. He's a throwback.
Number 7.
Yes, sir. Holy cow.
Dang it! Too many quarterbacks in this league are soft. Too many quarterbacks are looking for the flag. Too many quarterbacks are looking to be protected by the referees.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
I like Tim Tebow because he's different, because he's a throwback, because he does it the way previous quarterbacks did it 30, 40, 50 years ago. Tim Tebow doesn't care about being protected one iota.
Good play, man.
It's one of the great lessons that you learn in football. You know, that courage to keep fighting. You know, when you're down, when you get knocked down over and over again, are you going to keep getting up?
Used to be more of a physical game on offense where it was, the 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I think Tim Tebow could have played quarterback for Vince Lombardi and George Halas and the Monsters of Midway.
No, I don't buy that.
set.
Because a quarterback runs the ball, I'm not sure that makes him a throwback.
We love the simplicity of Tim Tebow as a quarterback and how it harkens back to a time when passing was thought to be just a fad.
He reminds you of days when you played option football in the NFL, like the 30s.
There he is once again, the gutsy Tim Tebow, keeping it on the option, and a Denver first down.
He's like Joe Cap. I mean, he'll run through you as happily as he would run around you. Joe Cap didn't throw a pretty ball either.
I mean, like Bobby Douglas, couldn't pass but ran a lot. How'd Bobby Douglas' career go? Not very well.
See that ball? Hey.
I think throwback is kind of like a backhanded compliment, like, it doesn't look so talented, does he?
Unless it's a jersey, the throwback's not good. Throwback is like one of these terms like blue collar or moxie, or we're saying we don't know anything about the guy. We don't know what we're talking about. We just want to like him.
There once was a time when 50% was a real good passing completion in the NFL. And 50% would be really good for Tim Tebow, too.
I think the throwback thing is a little bit comes hand in hand with the fact that he's such a hard worker and a good person.
What's up, my man? How you doing? Yeah, you having fun?
Even though all the players of the 50s and 60s were not all good people and they were not all hard workers, but we like to think of them as such, and so people think of Tebow as a throwback.
You're a great competitor, man. You're a great competitor.
The number 6 reason why we love Tim Tebow. He makes it look hard.
Things to love about Tim Tebow, and he makes it look so hard.
Tebow makes it look hard because for Tebow, it is hard.
And yet, somehow, he makes it work.
And the Broncos, in improbable fashion, have beaten the New York Jets.
It's like watching, back in the day, Arnold Palmer trying to play golf. His form was lousy. He practically fell down sometimes when he swung, but had spectacular results.
Tebow, quarterback draw. Tebow's going to be into the end zone. If I hadn't seen this myself, I really would not believe it.
He makes it look hard is good. It's gritty. It's different. The guys who make it look easy, you never can appreciate them.
Well, we do get excellence fatigue. When we watch these great athletes over and over, they make it look so easy that when a guy completes a pass, we don't get excited about it, we expect it. And then when a guy throws an incompletion, we get angry about it. That doesn't happen with Tebow. Everything looks like an accomplishment.
I love this argument that Tim Tebow's fun to watch because he makes it look hard. I hate watching the guys like, I don't know, Brady and Manning and Drew Brees, and before that, Montana and Elway. It's really not all that interesting. Give me the guy who's going to go 1 for 100 passing.
We haven't had any completion, so any completion would be a good completion at this point.
But that one pass at the end of the game, boy, was that spectacular.
7:06 to go in the game. Throws. Pass is going to be to Eric Decker. Decker's there! Eric Decker to the end zone. Touchdown Denver, 57 yards. A second completion of the game.
This crowd is stunned. Frankly, so am I.
Just what part of Tebow's game is the hardest to watch?
I'm just amazed at this point in his career that he throws as many ducks as he throws.
Oh, boy, gets underneath it. Tim tried to throw the out route to Eric Decker, and the ball just floated wildly behind him.
It's like an outfielder throwing it from the warning tracks, trying to get it all the way to home without a bounce. Every time he throws ultra hard.
He was a pitcher and an outfielder in baseball, and that's why he throws the way he does. But if he would have been a catcher, he'd have had that ball up to his ear hole, which would have been perfect.
Phil Mickelson just popped in my head, another left hand who people like watching, whether he's just flailing and going down in flames or whether he's, eagling 3 of the last 5 holes. Tebow kind of has that effect. Like you say, people want to watch him, good or bad.
And now, the number 5 reason why we love Tim Tebow. Tebowing.
Tebow goes down and hits that pose on you, he get chills up his spine.
Tebowing is a worldwide phenomenon. How could that not be on the list?
Phenomenon that is Tebowing it's like nothing we've ever seen in football.
It's cool. I mean, it's in. I mean, everybody's doing it.
This is for all my Denver people. Have you heard about this new social media phenomenon called Tebowing?
The art of Tebowing has swept the nation.
I mean, I have to admit, the Tebowing thing, the craze that took over was pretty cool, pretty imaginative.
What's your reaction to the Tebowing craze that's lighting up Twitter right now?
The praying thing? I think it's, it's pretty cool.
No. It's only going to get bigger, guys, now that Tebow has endorsed it.
No.
I believe that there are human beings who have knelt to pray for many, many thousands of years.
I'm not sure it's totally original. I'm not taking anything away from Tim, but whatever you called it, I've taken a knee many times in my football career, so.
Here's the lineage. Tebow stole the pose from us, and we stole it from Rodin's thinker.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you had to explain that it was the thinker that it was.
It's the NFL Network.
It is.
It wasn't an original pose, but it's one that took off because it is part of his identity. In fact, it might be the biggest part of his identity.
Tim was doing this when he was in high school. Tim has never done this to be a show.
So if Tim won't take credit for Tebowing, who is responsible for this going viral?
You can, thank me or punch me in the face for the viral sensation that is Tebowing. We have about 2,500 or 3,000 pictures that have been posted up on the site, and we have, I think, 21,000 in queue. So I think we can spend the next 57 years putting one picture a day, and we'll be okay.
A friend of mine went to Rome and did it right there where the Pope's hanging out. He's Tebowing in front of the Pope.
I think my favorite is probably the Beatles Tebowing picture.
When he retweeted the one of the cancer patient of the kid, oh, that was really cute.
Now we've got guys, at the Great Wall of China or outside the Eiffel Tower, Tebowing. This has to stop. We need like a Tebowing intervention.
Tebowing comes in at number 5 on our list because of his dedication to the craft.
He doesn't have the same motion throwing the ball, but when he Tebows, he pretty much has it down to a science.
What's interesting is after a 10-yard loss, he doesn't Tebow. He'd go, thank you, God, for teaching me humility.
That may happen one day, but here's a Tebowing dream that may never come true.
Obama on one side and Mitt Romney on the other side, both Tebowing. That could be really cool. That it's like America, putting sort of our political philosophies aside and coming together over some good old-fashioned Tebowing.
The number 4 reason why we love Tim Tebow. He brings out the best in everyone.
What is that? He's got Demaryius Thomas. Thomas has to go right through his hand.
And that ball should have been a touchdown.
So you're good.
I'm good. My fault, man.
Hey, no big deal. Just makes it closer for a little bit longer, man. You're about to go catch the game winner. And then you'll be the hero of the game.
In Tim, there you have a man that is obviously a believer.
Let's believe the whole day, all right, man? That's what we do.
His team believe in him. They just believe that he just has that extra thing. And whatever that is has obviously worked his magic against all odds.
Hey, get set. We're winning the game right here. Let's go, baby. Trust me. Let's go. On one, ready. Let's go.
No, that's really hard to describe how he does that. Because when you're lousy in part of a game, I think your teammates lose faith in you. For some reason, they don't lose faith in him.
I think people respond to him because he never quits.
There's only one person that carries the ball right here.
He never stops. He never quits believing that they're going to win the football game. And when you have that kind of belief, it kind of catches on with everybody else.
Bro, great job.
Thanks, buddy. Let's go do this thing. All right, buddy?
Even though it's an intangible, it seems to be visible. You can see him try harder than anybody else on the field to win. I tell you where it really rubs off on is on the defensive players.
Go do this thing, all right, brother? Proud of you, man, all right?
I have no idea whether having Tim Tebow as your starting quarterback makes Von Miller want to rush the passer more.
Don't give me the defense. The defense was 31st before Tebow started playing. All of a sudden, they started playing well after Tebow was a quarterback. Tebow didn't have anything to do with that?
Let's go. That's the fight I love to see. That's the fight I like, baby.
If he brings out the best in anybody, it's his kicker. I mean, look at Matt Prater.
This will be an attempt of 59 yards to tie the game, an attempt of 51 yards. It is good, and it is over.
I think more often than not, he brings out the best in like defensive backs, linebackers, opposing linemen. Those guys always seem to have their best games against Tim Tebow.
Tebow mania ends here today.
So I guess like afterwards, they send him a nice fruit basket.
Tebow time's over, baby.
Say what you will about his skills as a player, but you've got to love Tebow's ability to inspire and lead.
Tim Tebow is one of the top 5 leaders I've ever seen, ever. Not the top 5 quarterbacks I've ever seen. He is a great leader of men.
That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. One of the greatest leaders in the history of the NFL. Let's do a little history lesson. In the 1920s and 1930s, they had player coaches, guys like George Halas. These guys called the plays, ran the practices, played offense, played defense, got the team to the train station and the hotel on time. Then you flash forward to the 1940s, and you had guys like Sammy Baugh, who played quarterback, played defense. Oh, and when they weren't playing football, they were busy winning World War II. Even get to the present, you have guys like Peyton Manning, who memorize playbooks that are the size of phone books, go out there, do it year after year after year. And you're going to put a kid who won a couple 13 to 10 games on the same list as those people?
Absolutely.
It's patently absurd.
Let's go, baby.
Ball out, baby.
Yes,
Ball out, baby.
I don't know what he does in the huddle. I'd love to be a fly in the huddle just to hear how he communicates it.
Let's go win this thing, baby. Let's go win this thing.
But maybe he just exudes this kind of confidence. They go, okay, this kid's going to get it done. And that makes everybody else play better.
Snap. They fake the quarterback draw. He's in trouble. He can run on the left side. Tebow's going to run to the 5, and Denver's got a touchdown.
You think about he's been a winner at every level of his life. It's probably a lot because of that. It's a heck of a quality.
Another free reason why we love Tim Tebow. He's an underdog.
Can you call Tebow an underdog anymore? I don't think so.
Yes, he's the underdog that has the #1 selling jersey in the NFL.
He has a commercial where he says, "Nobody believed in me." He was the #2 or 1 recruit in the country coming out of high school.
Where was he drafted?
And with the 25th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft.
Oh, right, first round. He won the Heisman, right? And how many national titles did he win in college? 2. Underdog. Yeah, boy, what an underdog that guy is.
Let me tell you something about the NFL and about hardship and people who have opportunity. You're getting a nice check, you live in a nice house, you got a nice car, you're a bachelor, they love you. Until you have nothing, you're not an underdog.
He's hurting more than I am.
Seriously, he's just not Slumdog Millionaire. You could say maybe Tim Tebow has an overbite. Not Tim Tebow underdog.
Underdog, my ass!
So why do we love Tim Tebow for being the underdog? In 2011, he was a third-string quarterback behind Kyle Orton, the NFL's 24th rated passer.
This is what you want at Denver, so you're going to get a look at Tim Tebow.
Finally, I got something to cheer for. It's not Oregon. Let's go, Broncos!
He is an underdog. He had a lot of accolades in college, but college is not the NFL.
Most football people that evaluate these guys for a living don't think that he can do it.
People have always said, this kid's not a quarterback, let's move him to tight end, let's move him somewhere else.
If Tim Tebow didn't have any arms or legs, if he was just like a quarterback stump, right, he would be an underdog. But he's got all his appendages. The only difference is that he can't use them properly.
That's why fans gravitate toward him, is because so many people think he can't do it.
The second completion of the game for Tim Tebow.
What a great second completion of the game.
Yeah! Yeah!
Whether you think he's an underdog or not, there's no denying Tebow overcame the odds. In 2011, he got the Broncos to the playoffs and beat the heavily favored Pittsburgh Steelers.
He was an underdog in the playoffs against the Steelers, and he had a tremendous game. It was one game. He's getting his own NFL's top 10 show. John Elway didn't get one. Stop saying he is. Sorry about that.
In 2012, Tebow was brought to New York to be a backup again, this time to Mark Sanchez, 2011's 23rd rated passer.
He is an underdog until he can show everybody in the league that he can be a consistent passer, he can win games consistently.
Like so many great sports underdogs, Tim Tebow is set for a sequel.
Everyone loves the underdog story. The Rocky movie was so popular, they made, 5, 6, 7 of them? That's the ultimate underdog movie in sports. And that's what Tebow is every day.
The number 2 reason why we love Tim Tebow. Tebow Time.
Number 2.
Tebow Time. Sit in front of the TV, kids.
I love the Tim Tebow story.
It's stunning in so many ways.
Tebow 15, inside the 10, inside the 5. Are you kidding? 12 plays, 95 yards.
It was must-see TV. You had to watch to see how it was going to unfold that week.
The first play of overtime to the end zone, an 80-yard play.
It's like, whoa! Fourth quarter, Tebow Time.
In 2011, the NFL revolved around our number 2 reason why we love Tim Tebow.
Is it Tebow time?
Tim steps up, he can run. Tim's at the 10, throws, pass caught, touchdown Denver. Don't go away just yet.
This is what I don't understand about Tebow Time. Why does Tebow Time not start until, the last minute and a half of the game? Like, what is Tebow Time doing for the rest of the time?
Tim Tebow in the first 3 quarters was 3 of 16. In the fourth quarter, he's 15 of 20.
Is Tebow Time unionized? Does he, right? I mean, does he get like a union break for Tebow Time?
I find myself feeling very comfortable with him as the quarterback in this situation.
We look at Tim Tebow, he's like living a full life in 4 quarters. Like, look, I can suck for the first 3 quarters. I'm okay, because I can still come back and win it at the end.
Prater with plenty of leg on the way, and it is over! Yeah!
Well, the one that sticks out, I don't know if it's a favorite, but the one that sticks out was his first one, the Miami Dolphins game, where he's down 15-0, and it looked like he had never played quarterback before. It was almost embarrassing.
See this throw? Goes way over the head of Noshawn Marino.
I have to admit, it was 55 minutes of the worst quarterbacking I have ever seen in 22 years of covering this league.
Tebow, and he had Decker.
And then, in the next 5 minutes, he erased all of that.
Fires, and it's caught for a touchdown. Tebow's going to be into the end zone, and we are tied at 15.
And in overtime, the Broncos found a way to get him the ball, and he got the win.
Prater with plenty of leg, and it is good.
And Tebow Time really took off.
18 unanswered points. Tebow, 2 touchdown passes. If you would have written this script, you wouldn't have believed it.
How do you make things happen in those games? Seriously.
I really believed Tebow's faith because he gives it all up to one guy, and that's the man upstairs.
Our God is an awesome God.
He's oblivious to pressure because he's not playing for people. He's truly playing for the Lord.
Let's go, man. God is good. Let's go, baby.
For some reason, those prayers won games, so it created this Tebow Time.
Our God is an awesome God, man. Hallelujah. Our God is an awesome God, man.
You can't even doubt that man on a Sunday, on church day. You can't doubt that man on church day. Are you kidding me?
All right, y'all have a blessed day.
7 of the 8 games that the Broncos won during Tebow Mania occurred on a Sunday, including their most impressive win, which was...
Don't say it. Don't say the Steelers. Don't bring that up.
The Mile High Messiah's playoff win against the Steelers was one for the ages, and the climax to the number 2 reason why we love Tim Tebow.
Demaryius Thomas out over the 45 midfield. Here we go. 40, 35, foot race, 20, 15, 10, touchdown. Denver is over. It's over in Denver. The crowd has lost their mind. It is over.
That was the worst moment of my life.
Denver moves on. The Steelers go home.
I think that's the true mark of a competitor. What separates the greats from the good and the good from the not so good is how do you perform under pressure.
And the Broncos, in improbable fashion, have beaten the New York Jets.
It's about how you finish.
And the Denver Broncos win. Tebow Time in overtime.
Was it Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, coffees for closers?
The Broncos have won 6 consecutive games.
Well,
Football's for closers. And if you can close, you can play.
Way to believe, baby. Way to believe, baby.
And now, the number one reason why we love Tim Tebow. He makes the experts look dumb.
Who's he making a fool out of? Who's he making a fool out of?
He sure makes me look dumb.
Yes. Tim Tebow, he has made me look dumb.
My bad, Davey.
He did. He did. You know, I was part of the criticism.
I want to see if he can be an every down player.
The fans love him. The experts crucify him.
I have been covering the NFL since 1983 in Denver. I have never seen a quarterback look so lost.
And maybe I'm just a numbskull, but when I look at Tim Tebow, I say he doesn't have the skills to be an NFL quarterback.
I think really you should go to Brady Quinn. I mean, Brady Quinn would give them a chance perhaps to compete and have a passing game.
You're either a quarterback or you're not a quarterback. And Tim Tebow is a gimmick. I don't think I'm a hater. He's a hater. He's a hater. He's a hater. No, I'm not. I'm a realist.
You know, I've said from day one that I didn't think it could continue. So I'm amazed that it continues to go on.
What Tebow did was just kind of raise that to a weekly ritual of people saying he can't do this, he can't win this game, this is where the magic ends.
How is this going to work? Tell me. It's not.
It's going to be Brad Smith, and it's going to be a disaster.
Pistol or whatever.
And then he found a way.
Denver has won 6 in a row.
I think there's a certain level to Tebow where he does make the experts look foolish, make people have to eat their words. And America loves that because America loves to eat.
Anytime authority gets in the nuts, I'm a happy guy.
But these authorities fight back with words, not fists.
Experts are experts.
I've been pondering this thought for quite some time.
They don't just wake up one day as an expert. They've studied, they've learned things other people have not, and they don't have biases.
He's got a long way to go to make fools of the experts.
If anything, he makes scouting experts look sillier than he makes statistical experts.
The guy who really looks dumb is the one who trades up in the first round to draft him when he can probably get him in the second or third round.
That was for you, Mr. McDaniels.
The experts who made those decisions were replaced by others who were less excited about Tebow's possibilities.
For the first couple weeks that he was starting, after every game, every win, they'd show John Elway up in the booth with this frown on his face. You could see it in his eyes like, oh, God, I'm going to have to play Tim Tebow for more weeks.
Elway has a heck of a problem because this kid is going to keep winning. I mean, the last time I saw John Elway's face that sullen was getting beat down 55-10 in the Super Bowl. That same face where Elway was losing Super Bowls in the 80s was watching his quarterback win.
Got a good young man now, huh? Yeah, he's done a good job. He's done a good job. Brings a lot of energy, which is always good.
Anytime everyone's wrong about something, then in a way, it validates why we watch these games.
I tell you, if you're not a believer coming into this game, you have to be now.
You're talking, 7, 8 games, however many. It's not a season. It was a moment in time. Let's see what happens.
But if we've learned anything, it's that patience is not a pundit's virtue. Even at the risk of looking bad, they'll always offer an opinion.
How will Tebow mania end? Poorly. It can't end any other way, can it?
What's going on with him?
With Tebow, it's almost as though he's got to be a Hall of Famer or he's going to be a complete bust. And his reality probably lies somewhere in the middle.
Eventually, everything levels out. Tebow will come back down to earth, and we'll all realize, hey, this is Tim Tebow is a swell guy. He's not a swell quarterback. The experts will carry the day.
You know what? The experts need to have some faith. Sometimes it comes to a time where it's not about what you know. You just got to have the faith.